Welcome to vidzet.com. My name is Ted Noel. I'm a medical doctor with 36 years of experience, but I am not Hillary Clinton's treating physician. So I can't claim that what I'm about to tell you is a conclusive diagnosis. What I can do is exactly what the CIA does. I look at the public record and then I put it together to see if there's a single story that explains all of the odd things we see with Hillary and arrive at an answer as to what's going on medically with her. On August 14, Joe Biggs of InfoWars reported that Secret Service agents had approached him with information that Hillary Clinton was suffering from Parkinson's disease. They've had to take steps to accommodate her disease. They also indicated that they have known she's had Parkinson's disease for an extended period. It has become so severe that they are seriously concerned about her ability to perform the duties of president if she is elected. This is a highly unusual circumstance because Secret Service agents are cleared top secret and are prohibited from disclosing this sort of protected information. The only obvious reason for them to speak to a reporter is that they see Hillary Clinton as an imminent threat to national security because of her disease. Days after InfoWars, Julian Assange of WikiLeaks released Hillary Clinton emails where she directs State Department staff to research new drugs to treat Parkinson's disease. Let's connect the dots. On January 31, 2005, Hillary Clinton fainted during a speech. Secret Service agents kept her from injuring herself as she fell. Her public explanation was that she was ill and dehydrated. She left the stage to remove an outer jacket rather than removing it on stage. Oddly, she did not seek medical attention unless she received it off stage before returning. June 18, 2009, Hillary Clinton broke her elbow, quote, on her way to the White House, close quote. Again, we do not have video. But this is also a bit odd since she has had 24/7 Secret Service protection for 24 years. She would have to fall at a distance from them with no warning, or they would have broken her fall as they did in 2005. Early in December 2012, Hillary Clinton fell at home, struck her head, and suffered a concussion. Like the 2005 fall, the public explanation was dehydration and fainting. But again, this is very odd. To strike your head requires a complete loss of protective reflexes. Being wobbly from dehydration won't do this. At this point, let's look at the Secret Service Parkinson's disease story. If Hillary has Parkinson's disease, all three falls make sense. In 2005, she could have felt herself starting to have problems and went off stage to get an apomorphine shot for a quick fix. Unfortunately, it didn't work and she fell. The 2009 fall is stranger, but this is well explained by a Parkinson's freeze event. As one Parkinson's sufferer put it, 1 minute I'm upright and sailing along. The next, the asphalt is rushing up at me. The alarms sound, the adrenaline spikes, the needles jump into the red, we're going down. Shields up, shields up. But there are no shields. 180 pounds of vulnerable flesh and bone crashes to the earth. Hillary probably froze and then fell. Either she recovered enough to avoid major injury as she was falling, or she was simply lucky. Then came 2012 and the concussion. This time the freeze was unlucky. No one was there to catch her fall, and the damage was major. Now let's be clear here. This is not a firm diagnosis. I am a doctor, but I am not her treating physician. But everything so far fits the theory. Her, quote, medical clearance letter, close quote, is a typical response managed by a politician who lies about everything. She has not released any records, whatever, from the hospitals where she was treated. In other words, Hillary Clinton is asking us to take her word for it. A month after the fall, Hillary's closest aide, Huma Abedin, said in an email that Hillary was often confused. That's not a big surprise because Hillary had a bad concussion and was recovering from her closed head injury. The Fresnel glasses Hillary wore for a while aren't a big deal either, since they were helping with the double vision she had after the concussion. But we should remember that our theory is that the concussion is the result of a bigger neurological problem, not the cause of a continuing problem. Post-concussion syndromes generally recover. A post-concussion syndrome doesn't explain the other things we see. Early in 2016, Hillary's problems started to be really obvious. Videos of odd physical movements and brain freezes became common. This is consistent with progression of Parkinson's disease into its later and more troublesome stages. The first picture to surface is Hillary being helped up a set of porch steps in February. Once again, if she froze while climbing the steps, the people right next to her could catch her and keep her from injury. Suddenly, we start seeing lots of video evidence. In April, Hillary Clinton spent a large part of an appearance nodding her head. To most people, that was just odd. But if we think about Parkinson's disease, it's obvious. This is a head nodding tremor. She was simply present as discussion went on around her, and the tremor showed up as she was at rest. The same tremor showed up when Bernie Sanders endorsed her for president. One website counted over 400 nods then. Before we go further, it's necessary to fill in some medical background. Parkinson's disease causes tremors at rest. That is, when a hand is simply resting, the tremor can take over, but using the hand in a purposeful act will suppress the tremor. Other things that Parkinson's sufferers often do is to place their hands in unnatural and even painful positions. One very common feature is placing the middle finger above the back of the index finger rather than leaving it in line with the others. On May 2, Hillary Clinton is standing on a stage without a lectern. As she speaks, she uses two techniques to hide tremors in her hands. First, she keeps her hands busy. Second, when she's not using her free hand, she presses it to her chest, thus making any tremor almost invisible. The problem with this strategy is that it's not perfect. In the beginning, Hillary's right hand behaves normally as she waves it around to emphasize her speech. Then she presses it to her chest briefly. Then she gestures again with her right hand. But this time, her Parkinson's disease takes over, and it's likely she isn't even aware of it. Hillary's right hand assumes a frankly painful position, which includes her middle finger above her index finger. Professionals who care for Parkinson's patients recognize this as a common Parkinson's disease hand posture. This is one of the most famous of Hillary's odd events. One of the reporters there, Lisa Lehrer, has written that it was nothing important, but the video tells a different story. Several reporters shouted questions at the same time. Immediately, Hillary's head started to bob in an exaggerated manner, slowed down, and then repeated bobbing. After that, she ad-libbed, "You've got to try the iced chai." Several websites have called this a seizure. It's not. It's another Parkinson's disease problem, but this time it's from the treatment, not the disease. It's an example of Parkinson's disease levodopa-induced dyskinesia, or PD-LID. There's only one basic medicine that's effective in managing Parkinson's disease. Levodopa replaces dopamine the brain loses as cells in the substantia nigra, one of the coordination centers in the brain, die. Levodopa generally works well, but not all of the time. A freeze can happen randomly, with a visual stimulus, or in a moment of stress. In this case, multiple questions at the same time created stress, and when Hillary froze, PD-LID took over. PD-LID causes odd motions, such as Hillary's exaggerated head movements. It doesn't cause loss of consciousness, so she was able to recover verbally. PD-LID happens to every Parkinson's disease sufferer who has been on levodopa for more than 10 years. It's a side effect of the drug, and there is no effective treatment. This is why Hillary Clinton refuses to do news conferences. The stress of multiple questions at once would likely set off multiple PD-LID and freezing events. She would instantly become unelectable. All of us are familiar with Michael J. Fox. On the left, we see him in Back to the Future. On the right, we see him off his meds, showing the full fury of Parkinson's disease. Notice his eyes. This bug-eyed look is common in Parkinson's disease. At the Democratic National Convention during the balloon drop, we saw an astonishing scene. Hillary saw something directly ahead. A normal startle reaction would lock her in that direction, but that's not what happens. Instead, her head jerks hard left, then up. Her eyes pull right, and her head follows. Then her eyes reverse to the left, and her head follows again. All through this, her mouth is unnaturally wide open, and she has bug eyes. Every element of this is common in Parkinson's disease. When this was shown to Parkinson's disease patients and caregivers, there was no doubt. This is probably a freeze where PD-LID caused an oculogyric crisis. A week or so later, Hillary declared that she had, quote, short-circuited, closed quote, a false response to Chris Wallace of Fox News. That's a very strange comment, since the term short-circuit is not in slang usage. But it is used to describe what's going on in the brain of Parkinson's patients. It's likely that Hillary heard it in a visit to her doctor and simply repeated it uncritically, not realizing that she was revealing another view into her Parkinson's disease.
Okay. Keep talking. You handle it. We're not going anywhere.
Okay, here we are.
Keep talking.
Okay, we'll keep talking.
On August 6, Hillary is talking at a rally. A disturbance in the crowd catches her eye and she freezes. An aide comes to her and rubs her back while saying, "It's okay, we're still here, keep talking." When she comes out of the freeze, she says, "It's okay, we're not going anywhere, we'll keep talking." When a Parkinson's sufferer is in a freeze, brain function slows way down. That limits the options when the freeze breaks. So Hillary echoes what she heard during the freeze as a way to get her brain back up to speed. It's another common Parkinson's event. This is one of many coughing fits we see. Hillary doesn't have bronchitis. Rather, this is evidence of a swallowing disorder, which is common in Parkinson's disease. When Parkinson's sufferers develop swallowing disorders, they get saliva or food on their vocal cords. All of us have gotten a drop down the wrong way and know how persistent the cough can be. As this progresses, fluids go down into the lungs and ultimately cause pneumonia. This aspiration pneumonia is the most common cause of death in Parkinson's disease. In 2011, Hillary and Huma Abedin discussed the possibility that Hillary might have decision fatigue. Hillary called the description of decision fatigue as spooky descriptive. Fatigue is a common problem in Parkinson's disease and is also a common side effect of levodopa. What does this all mean? First, Hillary Clinton has advanced Parkinson's disease. Even with the best treatment in the world, she can't hide her tremors, weakness, and PD-LID. At this stage of things, she has very limited stamina. This explains why she does so few campaign appearances. We don't see her climbing steps, and she's incapable of handling sudden visual stimuli or stress. This is why she won't do press conferences. Multiple reporters shouting questions are likely to cause more bizarre tremors and dyskinesia. Second, Hillary Clinton is incapable of handling the daily stresses of the presidency. She would have frequent freezes and off states. The 3 a.m. phone call would simply go unanswered. By the way, is that what happened during the Benghazi attack? Third, as Parkinson's disease advances, it often produces dementia. Our president must always be strong and clear-headed. If she is not doing the job, then who will? Will it be Huma Abedin, who has been associated with Muslim causes and directly involved in the Clinton Foundation corruption? Will it be Bill Clinton, who is at the center of the Clinton Foundation corruption? Remember, President Woodrow Wilson had a stroke in 1919 and was largely incapacitated. The only people with regular contact were his wife and his physician. It appears that they may have acted in his name, but without proper authority. Or will Vice President Tim Kaine take over? Of course, then the Clintons would lose their juice. Let's sum this up. The video evidence is solid. Hillary Clinton, in spite of the best efforts of her handlers and doctors, shows strong evidence of having advanced Parkinson's disease. This debilitating condition makes her medically unfit for any position of responsibility. Since the presidency is one of the most responsible positions in the world, she is totally unfit for it. Let us not confuse medical and political issues here. I'm firmly opposed to Hillary Clinton on political and moral grounds, but this discussion has been about her medical condition. Hillary has known that she has advanced Parkinson's disease since at least 2012. She also knows that it makes her unable to do the job required of a president. It is also likely that the Democratic National Committee is aware of this, yet Hillary and all of her cronies have moved forward with her candidacy. This tells us that Hillary and the DNC simply do not care about America. If they did, they would never have Hillary on any ballot. It must be just like the Clinton Foundation. As long as the Clintons are where the deals are made, that's all they care about. Any deal that crosses their palm creates a personal profit. And where are more deals made than the office of the president? There's far too much on the line for Hillary's medical records to stay hidden. The public has a right to know about her health before the 3 a.m. phone call goes to voicemail. Thank you.